Okay, so that's done there. Escape out of dimension. Click that. Double click on sheet 2. Okay, let's get on with this. I like to start dimensioning the easier ones first. So I'm going to start with the lid and the base. So dimension D. Start with the thickness of the lid. Zoom right in. There we go. It's 3 mil. Right, and we can put the width of the lid is 120 mil, and the length of it is 234. Right, and we'll do the same thing here. Should be 120. Should be a wee bit shorter. 228. And the width, no, sorry, the thickness is 3 mil as well. Right, there we go. Right, we'll clean this all up eventually. While we're here, may as well annotate them, right? So here we go. This is how we do it. You click on the A here, which says note. Just going to place the note there. Call this lid. Enter. Whoops. No, not enter. Green tick. And note here. Call that base. Green tick. Okay. And escape to get out of it. Right. Now let's go for the next easiest one, which is the handle here. D for dimension. Clicked. That side is what we want to start with, 120. And we'll do the height on the front, 8. And the width up here too is 12. Right. And let's just move on up this ladder. Here I'm going to do the height on this side because I can tell you that there's going to be a lot of information on this part here and I don't want to overcrowd it. So we can't pick the entire height, so we're going to go from the top point to the bottom point to go to 42. And then we get a width of 120. Okay. And a thickness of 12. Right. Now, here you go from point to point to tell us that that rebate is 6. There to there to tell us that it's 3. And this line to tell us that that is also 6. Now, here is where it starts getting messy. Right. Just to be able to move that in a way. In fact, here's a good thing that just happened. I'm going to go back, delete this 3, hit delete on the keyboard, and I'll dimension the groove on this view here. Right, so there we go. 3. Okay. I'm actually not going to edit that out for you. I'm going to leave it in so you can see that nothing just happens perfectly the first time ever. Right. So dimension again. Give it this one here to there. That's 3 as well. And the depth, that's there here. We can see that that's 6 as well, but don't ever assume it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit escape, pick this 2-point center line tool over here, go from there to there, and you'll see that it draws a center line kind of thing. So that kind of tells us that that's both the same depth. So we don't crowd it with another 6 mil in there. That's really not necessary. Okay, so we hit escape. Let's go back to the front now, which is a bit less complicated. So point and point, height 42, width 120, thickness 12, okay, and here to here 3, and there to there is 6. Notice, because this is at an angle, if you rotate your mouse to the right a bit, it'll come at 6.71. So that's because that is projecting parallel to a line drawn across this. So we don't want that. We want to go down 6. Right. Now, guys, if you do make a mistake, or you can just escape, click on the dimension that you thought you did wrong, and delete it. Right, and then go back and start it again. There was no mistake there, just thought I'd let you know. Right, so we got 12, 33 tall, 6 and 3. And there we go. Right, now let's move to the front. On the front, we're going to have the height. the width, and the dimension of the rebates. Okay, so I'm going to do that all on this face, and then up here I'll do the trench, the groove, and the bottom rebate, right? So here we go. Open that, 42. You'll see why we made the lid smaller. Okay, you can see that that's really not good. So eventually, once we're done with this, we're going to move this out of the way so it doesn't clash with that 240 line. Makes it a bit really untidy. It's not professional. All right, so there we go. Rebate there to there. 12 mil. Okay, we do the rebate here too. Here to here. It's 12 mil. Right, and now we can do the thickness, which is that there. 12. That and that is 6. Just like I did before, I'm going to do the 3 mil on this side. And that to that is 6. And here to here is 3. Okay, I think that's most of our dimensions done. Always double check. We got our height, length, thickness, 12, 3. We got the depth of the rebate at 6 here. You can see that. Right, so let's start putting our notes now. So back to A, note up here. Let's type in side times 2. We want this to be a bit longer. There we go. Okay, that tells you the size of your text box. So it's not like Word, it's completely different. Okay, side times 2. Note here. That's our front. Tick. Note here. That's our back. And this will be our handle. Just going to write it on top here. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and edit these notes and say front part, back part, and side part, because some people might get it confused with the front, side, back views, and then they'll go ahead and go, what's a handle view? So yeah, let's edit that. So escape. There we go. So double click on front to bring it back up. And here we go. Here, space, part. Notice that it goes down, just so let's open up that text box, green, double click on back, space, part, green arrow. We don't need to call it a handle part, but we'll call this a side part as well, just to avoid any confusion. All right, side part times 2, make it a bit bigger so the times 2 goes there. All right, so let's select and highlight these two things and move that. There we go. You'll notice that if you move the bottom, one of these views, the other one just moves along with it, right? But I've selected these all because the lid and the base views aren't tied to this, right? So now here, I want to move it in and down a bit more. A bit more. There we go. Now within the border, that's good enough for me. Guys, you can spell as long as you want, trying to line all of these things up perfectly. If you want to, there we go, that's good there. 42 handle, bring it in slightly. The front of the handle, right, there we go. Okay, we'll call that good enough for this. Right, so double click on sheet 1 again, go here. We had to populate our title. So double click. It'll open up. Backspace the dashed lines there, and let's start typing pencil box. Oh, it's a classic pencil box. All right, classic pencil box done. All right, drawing number, it's 1. Oops, backspace the thing, 1. There we go. Okay. If you want to, you can delete these ones because they don't need to be there. And you'll see it says sheet 1 of 2 here because we've got 2 sheets. Back to sheet 2. 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 zoom in here, and it says drawing number here, but double click it. And we can call this parts. Right. And it says drawing number, but that's fine for what we want to do. Yeah. If you really want to, you can go back to drawing number here. Let's call it complete. And green arrow, done. Okay. So that's your pencil box drawing done as well. Always double check. You can never double check too much. Actually, I'd like to move all of these a bit more to the middle. There we go. Quite happy with that now. Tell you, if you really want to, you can label this front, top, and side, but you don't need to, because if you look here, it says third angle projection, right? Every engineer, designer who looks at this would know third angle projection means, okay, that's the front, that's the top, and then that is the right side. Okay, which is why the sign is here. We'll talk about it more when we go through it in class. Okay, guys, that's it. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed this, and when we get back to school, we'll make this pencil box out of timber using saws and chisels and whatnot, following the drawings that we made. Guys, take it easy, stay safe, see ya.